जमीन पर बैठकर क्यों आसमान देखता है, पंखों को खोल जमाना सिर्फ उड़ान देखता है। लहरों की तो फितरत ही है शोर मचाने की, मंजिल उसी की होती है जो नजरों में तूफान देखता है। इन्हीं लाइंस के साथ आई वुड लाइक टू वेलकम डॉक्टर दिवाकर सिंह यादव, प्रोफेसर, डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ कंप्यूटर साइंस एंड इंजीनियरिंग, इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ इंजीनियरिंग एंड टेक्नोलॉजी, लखनऊ, in the premises of National PG College. Our heartfelt and welcome to the college, sir. To welcome, sir, I will invite Dr. Rakesh Jain, Head IQAC Cell and Head of Department English Department. So, to welcome, sir, in our Atal FDP program for today. Thank you, sir. A brief introduction of Dr. Divankar Singh Yadav. He is a distinguished academician and researcher with over 3 decades of experience in the field of computer science and engineering. He holds a PhD from the University of Southampton, UK, and has completed his MTech from IIT Kharagpur, India. Dr. Yadav has been actively involved in various administrative and academic committees at multiple institutions, including the South Asian University and several technical universities in India. He has received prestigious awards, including the Commonwealth Scholarship and the Young Scientist Award from the Governor of Uttar Pradesh. Some of his significant contributions to knowledge and profession has been as the founding director at Rajki Engineering College, Banda, as a Pro-Vice Chancellor, Uttar Pradesh Technical University, as the Director, Bundelkhand Institute of Engineering and Technology, Jhansi. He has been a Project Coordinator for Information Technology in Education for Uttar Pradesh and Uttarakhand. Beyond his academic and administrative... Beyond his academic and administrative accomplishments, Dr. Yadav has been a passionate advocate for IT awareness and education, positively impacting the lives of students and professionals alike. His ongoing contribution continues to inspire future generations in the field, making him a valuable asset to the academic community and the broader technological landscape. So, I invite Sir now for enlightening our minds on the topic qualitative and quantitative research. Welcome, sir.
Madam, all of you, it's really a pleasure. I came here for the first time and I've been troubling Dr. Nidhi Srivastava. She has been asking and calling me for so many things. You do this thing, you do this thing. But thank you very much. I'm very, very happy. So, first of all, congratulations for getting this AICTE program. That's a wonderful achievement. So, we are slightly late, but perfectly okay. So, discussion in this session is actually, I would like to be slightly interactive. I would like to interact with you. And instead of going through some structure or some very stereotype lecture, I have made all this slide, and that is the reason it was slightly delayed. It is based on my experience. So forget about in the introduction whatever madam said. Administrative part, you just keep it aside. That is one thing. It is out and out based on the academic experience. And in my mind, the focus is on the research scholar, those who have started their PhDs, they have started their research, or they are into midway, as well as those who have recently completed. So before we begin, is it visible?
Yes.
Okay. So before I open up what the research is, the methodology is, and there are so many things, there are so many things people suggest. You come to know over the point of time that I should have been doing this, I end up doing this, it should have been like this. Here is my research topic, what should I do? I'm not getting enough result. Let me give you some of the example. It very happened, in the last RDC meeting at the Technical University where I've been involved in since last 10 or 15 years. So lots of research scholars, they come and they present and we tell them these are the gaps, these are the things that should be done. It's like this. So few examples. One of the PhD candidate, he was almost, as far as the time is concerned, he was midway through. Midway through means he has already spent more than 2.5 years so. And then he came up with a problem, and this was about the diagnosis of the medical images. It's very common application nowadays. So medical images, I asked, from where you got these medical images? And it was actually a string of X-rays. From where you got? Which hospital? What is the sample size? How many patients you have considered? And then slowly, within 2 or 3 minutes, I asked whether you visited any hospital in your entire period. He said no. Now this puts a big question mark. That means possibly it's not his fault. It's possibly he has not been told at any point of time that if you have to carry out this or some work, how this relates to the real world. Here if you see some of the problems, some of the issues, these are some questions. As a normal person, as a normal citizen, when you live in the world, and there's a real world, research is one thing, forget about the research for the time being. Many things, when you open up the newspaper, you look at the news, many things that comes to your mind. And these are some of the topics I've written. For example, you are aware that Israel and the Philistine war, this is going on, right? Now, as an educated person, naturally this comes to your mind, what is happening, why this happened, and what will be the impact. Now, this comes a bigger question, and actually there are lots of agencies I would say, governments, United Nations, WHO, right, IMF, they are looking forward to this, what is going to happen. So it may have several multi-dimensional effects. You are, but maybe an economic, you have economics department, there are several experts in the department, they will try to understand what will be the impact of this war as far as the economy is concerned. Now look at the perspective. IMF, which is International Monetary Fund, he will be, people sitting there, they would be looking at the thing in a different perspective. Perspective is different. So what will happen, how it is going to impact the trade, what will happen to the supplies, various broken supply chains. See, huge population lives in the Middle East or Europe where you see, and lots of, the trade that takes place. Now, what will be the impact as far as the economy is concerned? One nation may be involved. For example, what will be the impact of this war or this conflict as far as the Indian economy is concerned? So these are the bigger and the larger questions. Now, if someone asks this question, no, it's not possible to answer in a day time or maybe in 2 days time or 3 days time. But these are the interesting, stimulating, mind-stimulating things. Similarly, sentiment analysis of Facebook users on the US presidential election. This is the next thing which is very important thing is going on. You are all aware. Who will be the president of the United States next month? So there is a contest between the previous president Donald Trump, the new person Kamala Harris, and lots of debate is going on social media. So social media, it could be the Facebook or the Twitter, which is now X, and people are writing. It is possible, is it possible, the bigger question is it possible to predict the sentiments or gather the data from the sentiment, the tags which are posted by the Facebook users or the Twitter or the X users, what will be the impact, how it is going to happen? And if someone comes in, then what will be the impact on the other foreign policies? And these foreign policies, certainly it affects our nation. You understand? Now, this is a bigger question. Say, what will be the impact if Kamala Harris comes into the power? She is a Democratic candidate, and then how it is going to affect international trade that is taking place between US and India. So now these are further direction. How it is going to impact if Mr. Trump, he comes into power, how the trade that will take place between India and China, something like that. So these are the bigger, larger questions. I have written here all of the larger questions. For example, the new education policy has been launched. What will be the impact of new education policy as far as employment is concerned? And government who has launched, they have poured in lots of money, huge amount of money and resources. Certainly the policy maker would like to see in future how it is going to improvise. Does it make the positive impact as far as the employment is concerned, or does it make the negative impact? Now what you need in all these three examples, you need data. You need data, right? Similarly, effect of public health expenditure on child mortality. You must have known, say, 2 or 3 years back, there are a lot of child, they died because of oxygen or cylinder, whatever, in some hospital in the eastern part of the UP. Then, if you are able to collect the data, or someone is really interested in upliftment of the health, right, or health department, so that at least the focus area is the children, so that they are not killed just because of the infantilitis or many other communicable diseases. So some kind of a study is required so that it can be brought to the notice of the policy maker and possibly they can decide. So there are n number of parameters. Say someone is doing research in the area of collecting the data in the last 10 years just because of Japanese infantilitis, how many patients, what was the patient turnout into the hospitals, what was the medication given, what were the resources that were required, so ICU, ventilator or whatever, what were the resources required, and if you carefully study, you can certainly project. So now the technology does exist. You can project with this population or with this population size, if certain hospital is catering to the patient coming from some demographies, some special demography, it is possible to predict what would be the requirement of the ventilators, only ventilators, in the year 2028 or 2030. It's like this. And if some medicine or some vaccination or something comes in this picture, then how it is going to affect. So these kind of long-term studies are required. So keeping this, I'm not going to explore all of them, but in the next few minutes, maybe 15, 20, 30 minutes, keep this real world example in your mind, then possibly you need to appreciate what I'm trying to say, what the research is. So this is all about analysis of biomarker for early detection of neurological disorders. Medical doctors, practitioners, in association with the IT expert, they are doing landmark research in this, right? Similarly, a bigger question that is being asked in the medical science community is AI is going to replace the need of the radiologist? I gave some of the example at the later stage, but at this moment I can only tell you, now the technologies exist. If you have plenty of X-rays, plenty of data, that is the CT scans or MRI scans, now it is possible whether this is a video, because IT people, they consider them as a video or imaging, and using certain algorithms, certain procedure, they can find out if some abnormality is there or not. For example, in the X-rays, if you have plenty of X-rays of the healthy people or those who are sick, it is possible to find out, the machine can predict whether there is a pleural effusion. Pleural effusion is the liquid, usually because of pneumonia and the other diseases that come. It is possible to find out whether in certain area, whether there are certain nodules or the cyst or there is a tumor. And given the size, given the curvature, given the contour, it is possible to find out that in 99% cases or 98% cases or 90% cases, this is going to manifest into some certain disease in the future. And that is the role of the radiologist. Let me give one of the examples that will cover maybe in the later part of the talk when we meet after the tea or snacks, whatever. During the COVID time, if you remember, the New York hospital, that was the very first hospital. You remember, I think, those 2 years, everyone remembers. Resources were limited, and there is a hue and cry for the ventilator, the oxygen. This last, is 20 and 21, you remember, just recall. And the situation was, is a huge crowd of the patient come with the X-rays, and they are lined up at the hospital, and they want ICU, they want ventilators, but the resources are limited. Limited means, suppose there are 100 beds hospital, so only 100 patients can be accommodated, but there is a crowd of 10,000, sometimes 50,000 counting, and they are actually trying, I should be admitted, or I should be admitted, I am more safe, or my patient is, is in more critical situation. New York was, the central New York, it was the first hospital. What they did, they placed an AI-based system and said, all doctors with administration, I'm talking about the hospital administration. What they did, put all of the X-rays and their previous medical records, and then the system will decide who needs best care, or who should be treated as the priority. So all the scans, X-ray scans, using some newer technique, it was possible to find out, okay, this is the person who needs immediate attention. So first of all, resources should be granted to them. And it was very successful. And the success rate, so why the doctor, they used it for the preliminary investigation, right? There are numerous examples, and in real world, these technologies are being used, right? Going further, keeping this thing in the mind, say, there are a few more examples. What is the impact of the automobile industry on the climate change? Then someone will say, climate change is in a huge area, automobile is in a huge area. What? So climate change, someone would like to study what will be the impact on the air quality, or the water quality, or the resources, depletion of the resources, whether these are petrol driven or the diesel driven, and what will the impact of the solar driven cars, something like that. So it's a huge area. But if you look at this problem, yes, these are the broader level problems, and that should be focused. Then what should be the approach? It's not going on. Yes. So if you look here, so what is research then? And then we'll come to the quantitative and qualitative issues. Keeping this thing in the mind, and which actually I noticed in the last 10 years or 15 years, the student, normally the research student, they take up in a problem without understanding or without connecting it to the real world. And real world is, what are the bigger issues? For example, I gave an example, someone who is doing the research on the X-ray images, and if you have not seen the hospital, that was a big question mark. Someone who is designing, the autopilot, auto cars, auto driving cars, so already this is a reality. If someone has not really driven at all any car or any vehicle on the road, then how can he have a feel what the problem is and what solution he is going to provide. So overall, if we define formally the research is, this is actually a detailed and careful study of something to find out more information about it. So connect it with the real world and then try to find out. So these should be the objective, it should be there in the mind. Also, this is very important, it is the creation of the new knowledge and or with the use of existing technologies, existing method in order to create new concept or methodologies or protocol or whatever. So some historical things, use certain state-of-the-art tools, technologies, and then create something. So this is also an objective of the research. And that is the reason a broader classification this is, broader classification as far as the research is concerned. One is the theoretical research, another is the applied research. Theoretical research is, imagine long back, imagine the Newton's time, right? There were not many equipment, no computer, no devices, almost no data. So it was, all the discoveries, it was based on the observations, right? And they come up with certain thumb rules. For example, the gravitation, right? Rotation of sun, rotation of the moon, something like that, how it is going to occur. But nowadays, in the applied research, the objective is, we want to prove something. We want to prove something. We want to have some kind of device. We want to have some kind of, or some type of, some method, methodology, so that it's a generic and can be applied in order to solve a variety of problems. So important thing is, there are 3 steps. How to do research. This is all about formulating a problem. So first of all, it's really very important. You should be able to understand what the problem is, what you are going to do. So formulation of the problem, identification of the gaps, what the gaps means, what is known, what is there in the literature, and what you want to establish. So current scenario, as I mentioned in the initial slide, what you are going to establish, what you want to study. Do you want to get something out of it? You are looking forward to have some meaningful kind of thing? Or you are, this is interventional. If something you find out, then are you able to provide some technology or some method so that the problem can be solved, right? Similarly, the dimension of the research, this is very important. And usually, we got stuck. So there are several dimensions of research. Look at the topic, identification of topic, and generally we say, if you have been able to identify, please note it, if you have been able to identify or write the topic of the problem, that means half the work is done. And this is popular old saying, if you understood the problem, half of the work is done. The real problem is, or the real challenge is, what the problem is. Are you looking forward to having a solution? What the problem is. Identification of the problem is half of it. things you have already solved. So topic is really very important. It should be carefully. But what happens nowadays is a bottom-up effort. A candidate comes in and he writes some fancy thing and say, I want to do research on this topic. And then you ask how you are going to relate it with the real world, then possibly all shatters. No idea how it is going to. So bigger question all of the time you should have in the mind, with your work, who is going to be benefited? Whether this just satisfies your questions, or are you going to provide something for the benefit of the society? So this question you should always ask. It should always be there in your mind. Similarly, the novelty, what is the novelty? What is the technology you are going to use? What is the scope of your research? Mode, methods, ideology, the political, and so on and so forth. And then you have to come up, if these are the dimensions of the research where you are focusing in, then you have to establish some of the things. And there are two ways. One is the qualitative, another is quantitative. So qualitative means based on certain historical perspective, you devise something. Let me give you this, altogether two different dimensions. It is also research. Some linguistics or some language expert, I'm sure you have language department here, Hindi, English, or so in the language department, the research is usually carried out, say, what are the impact of the famous poets like Kabir Das or Surdas, I mean, still lots of research is going on, or the other authors, those have provided some literature, what was the impact on the medieval time, right? How the society was benefited or not benefited. So this kind of research, this is also in research. Now you can also focus and can come with the perspective. It is a perspective. Okay, if this has happened, then there are certain evidence the society moved like this. So that means these, the poets, they have changed the society. They have changed the way the people used to think, right? This is one side. Another is very typical side, and that is just focus on the data. Focus on the data. For example, you might have seen the opinion polls. Are you aware of the opinion poll for every election? So in our country, the elections are, is across the world. Every month there is an election. And the all TV channels with lots of TRP issues, and they come up, look, this is my opinion poll. This is the survey. And after this, they come up with the exit polls. Now look at the opinion poll, and this is very precise. On this issue, what the public opinion is. Now, those who are students of statistics, or those who understand the statistics, the really most important thing is, what is the sample size? If the population is, for example, in our state, the population is 20 crores, 20 crores plus. Now in that case, what was the sample size? What the statistical markers that you have used in order to analyze? That is, are you aware of the basic statistics, the mean or the mode, or the median, or the standard deviation, or the curve fitting in order to extrapolate? If someone is not able to use this tool, is not aware, then these are the questions. This puts a big question mark. Why this opinion poll? Only for TRP or something else? So in this case, yes, the focus of studies are there, and this is the scientific method, and lots of people, the demographic people, they do it. But several questions that has to be asked, and the tools, device, and the methods, it has to be scientifically chosen. And here, the key is the data. If you are able to get in data which is sparse, which is not skewed, which is not biased, then possibly you are able to predict with certain sample size using some tools, yes, the people opinion is like this, right? So this is qualitative and this is out and out quantitative. It's like this. Okay, going further, now I'll go slightly faster. The research is all about the addressing an issue or asking or answering a question and how to solve a problem, right? So only thing, what things that is necessary to be addressed is the identification of the issues, the questions of the problem, and you have to talk with the people, those who have certain kind of understanding, or that is what is called, we say, the domain experts. You should have discussion, you should have their opinion. And it's always said, the comprehensive views that always are, or discussed views are always good, beneficial. They are not skewed. Similarly, you have to find out what is already known, what is the historical data, what is the historical perspective you have. Then you will have to prepare, the first thing that you have to prepare is the initial write-up. And the focus here should be on identification of the problem and the research gaps. And always it should be there in your mind at the back how it is going to solve, how you are going to relate it to the real world, bigger problem. Secondly, who are going to be beneficiaries and how it is going to benefit the society in general. Okay. These are the dimensions. I will leave the slide. Maybe you can read at the later stage. Say topic is important, so topic you have to find out whether it is physical or biological or psychological or sociological or technological, whether this is intensive use of the data science. Now the data science has come up, and actually it has been integrated with all of the areas of this. What is the novelty, what are the technology that you are going to use, scope, mode, methodology, ideology, quality. Actually, this is also very important, and specifically when you go for the surveys, lots of work is based on the surveys or collection of the samples. In the medical science, it is also, you are predicting something or some diseases. It is important from where the data has come. Which data this represents? Is it equally distributed or is it skewed? It's like this, right? For example, in online or opinion poll, if you are taking the data or giving the survey form to a particular specific type of person, then your result will be biased. You will not be able to get the good results, right? And of course, the utility. So going further implication, you have to see what are you researching, and importance of the focus is on topic or a problem statement. So yes, of course, choosing a good supervisor, good peer group, especially those who are into the PhD, you have to connect with the peer group. Supervisor is hierarchical. You should also be able to talk to the person or the researcher, those who are working in that area, and the real ideas that comes from them. Supervisor or maybe mentor, they will be able to give you one thing, you do this, but the methods and contemporary issues that comes from the peer researcher, so that is very important. So meta-analysis, that has to be done. This is all about the technologies. How do you use, or how you use the technology? I'll discuss it at the later stage. So now, as far as the mode of inquiry is concerned, once you have set up, you have come up with the problem, then how do you inquire? What to do? So there are two views or two ways that you have to think separately. Whether your view or your looking at the thing is just observational, you want to perform a study wherein you want to observe something. So looking at the data, some pattern, and you are observing something, right? This is also good research. But in many cases, if something very special comes up during the observation, then yes, you can work as an intervention, you can intervene. I'm sure those who are into the medical science or working in this area, so as you look at the radiologists, interventional radiologists, cardiologists, interventional cardiologists. What is the difference? A cardiologist, it looks at the various images and all, diagnose and suggest you the medicine. But interventional cardiologist is, he is also a surgeon. He is also a surgeon. So what he does, during the CT or whatever, or some scans, if he finds that something needs to be fixed now, he fixes it. So is in the research. While working with the data, while working, formulating the problem or analysis, once you come to know that it is necessary, you should come up with certain rules. You want to intervene. Intervene means you are studying a traffic congestion problem, working on a traffic congestion problem, and all of a sudden you come to know that in certain specific area, the traffic movement or movement of the traffic is going in a very specific manner. Herein you can suggest, yes, the traffic light should be designed in such a manner so that this problem or traffic congestion can be. So here you are not just observing. After the observation, you are also proposing, look, it should be done like this, and these are the solutions. So this is so always keep this thing in the mind. You are just observing, or you want to intervene. So many times it's really very difficult. Saying is something, very easier. Many times you are working somewhere where you cannot intervene. People doesn't allow you to intervene. Depends on the topic and the area where you are working. So here is the whole story. Problem discovery, you'll have to ask for the research question. Then the discussion for today is the research method. What research method you are going to use? Research method, then follow with the ethical practice. So in most of the time in the biology or pharmaceutical or medicine, the ethical issues are very important. Many drug trials, you are aware. The pharmaceutical companies, they usually come up with certain drugs, right? And drugs, there are several agencies, until unless they are satisfied, they doesn't endorse. So it has to be approved, right? Some vaccine has come up for certain communicable disease or certain virus. Now vaccine has to be tested. So sample size, then on whom this will be tested. So testing is very important. It requires a lot of ethics. It's not like this. You get certain random people and inject something in order to test. So in biological sciences, medical sciences, pharmaceutical sciences, this is really very important. Even in the overall domain of biology, this is important. So ethical practice, this is very much required. Also, then importance in the sampling. What is the sample size, right? This is a good time. I do remember during the COVID time. You remember the time the US president was saying Donald Trump, and the CDC, it is a body in the United States. CDC, have you ever heard? Center for Disease Control. And CDC chief was Anthony Fauci, and is considered to be the national health advisor or something. In the press conference, it was talked much later what has happened in this, and still this is under discussion. I'm sure you remember Trump once said, and this was the major news headline in the Indian newspaper as well as world, and he said in the White House in a press conference, we found a solution, we found a drug for the COVID, and this is hydroxychloroquine. Do you remember? Anyone? Hydroxychloroquine. And as a result, what happened? There was a plane, after 2 or 3 days, it took off from Bombay, collected whole of the hydroxychloroquine tablets and all, and went to the US. During the press conference, there was another press conference, and in this, the president of the US he asked Anthony Fauci, you come and say to the public that hydroxychloroquine is the appendix, is a universal solution. And he said, no, I will not do it. And it was praised like anything. You got it? The president says, hydroxychloroquine, and this is a real, असली घटना है ये. Conference में कह रहे हैं कि ये hydroxychloroquine, this is a universal solution. I'm saying to whole world, because whole world doesn't. But the CDC chief, he said, no, I will not speak anything, will not give any message to the nation, to the world, that this is the solution. Because no testing, no trial. And finally it was found hydroxychloroquine was not a solution. Similarly, similar stories. I know you are aware, many of you are aware, there were 3 vaccines that has come up. It is AstraZeneca, which was sold in the name of Covishield here. And there were 2 more vaccines. One was invented in the US and it was RNA based. Pfizer is the name of the company. It was Moderna. Moderna was never sold here. It never came to India. But half of the population in the US, this is vaccinated with Moderna. You'll be surprised to know, and that is the power of research, and Moderna was the very first product of a startup which was funded by the US government. And it was a startup set up by 5 or 6 researchers only. You can check, you have all Google and all. So Moderna, it was the first product. And there was a controlled trial, and after this, it was launched into the public. It was very successful. AstraZeneca, this was sold here, so that was the mRNA. So lots of technique is already there. Look at the confidence level when the people come up and they say, like Anthony Fauci, who says, since this has not been tested, I will not speak anything. Whomsoever you are, even if you are president, I don't care. So that is in things. On the contrary side, the Moderna people told a bunch of the researchers, they had previous data, they had previous analysis, and they come up with the Moderna. And the Moderna vaccination, controlled trial and confidence level, it was the first state of Michigan. वहाँ दिया, फिर इसके बाद धीरे-धीरे it has become a. So now this is true. So whole thing is, what is the ethical practices? So researcher has to be extremely ethical, should be unbiased. And that is not the researcher, any educated person, any literate person. He should always be unbiased. Don't believe on the perception. Don't believe on the saying. Believe on the facts. Once you have looked at the fact, you have analyzed the fact, then only you should form the opinion. Okay. Similarly, the sampling is important. What is the sample size? Whether this is testing or drug or whatever. What are the mode of the data collection, from where the data has come, and in the data it is really very important to identify whether the data is skewed or not, is biased or not. Nowadays, lots of tools in the practice, tools and technologies does exist, which can tell you that the data is biased, data is skewed. It's like this. Similarly, you should be aware nowadays, and this is actually I'm moving towards the quantitative analysis, say quantitative method. There are lots of data processing and data analytics that's been going on. I'm sure all of you have known or heard the word artificial intelligence, machine learning, natural language processing, data analytics, data science, so many buzzwords. What they are doing. And sometimes this bothers you if someone is the domain expert or expert in the area of anthropology or the sculpture. I'm sure many of you might be working in several other departments. Or maybe on the literature, which is just written in some language, some unknown or alien languages, and interpretation of this. So now these tools and these technologies, they are being used by the researchers working in this area. So in the sculpture, suppose you get some stone or maybe something which is old and ancient, and it can be detected what this is, because lots of data does exist everywhere. If you have access to that data, you can always compare, you can find out. So these technologies will help you to find out whether, suppose you got an iron rod or some stone, you can always find out. There are lots of methods which exist, whether this comes from 1,000-year-old or 2,000-year-old or 10,000-year-old, so and so forth. So use of the data processing and the analytics, that is the reality of today, whether we like or dislike. Then similarly, the conclusions, you have to draw conclusions. So this is the whole cycle, and after that, once your work is done, then certainly work, if you have done something, it should not remain with you or your supervisor. In this whole process, a method for the dissemination is important. I sometimes disagree with the idea. Many universities, they have formed a rule. For example, in our university, you cannot be given a PhD, you cannot be awarded a PhD till the time you have 2 publications in essay index with journals or the Scopus index, right? So this is some rule, but forget about it. The whole idea, the spirit behind this, whatever you are doing, number one, you should be able to discuss, or you should discuss with your peers, those in the friendly environment, those who are working in this similar kind of problem, and then you should attend the departmental seminars or the seminars or the conference which is going on or which are conducted at the different intervals in that area, and then get the involvement of the people, take their ideas, suggestion, orient it, reorient it, and then when you conclude, then you should write an article, and that should be sent to maybe publication somewhere. So this whole process should be done. But unfortunately, what is happening nowadays, the speedy research of what they are doing, they take some of the papers, some of the standard article. So this is the bottom-up approach, and this is not acceptable. You have taken some of the approach, and your research is focused on that, and then you start exploring. That's a very wrong way of approaching the or doing the research. It should be top-down. Like if you're tired, please let me know. We can go for we'll have tea and snacks together. Because when you invite a teacher like me, for something, he can speak for, हमें रोक दीजिएगा. So another 5 minutes. Any questions about someone?
What is the right way, top-down and bottom-up approach?
Right way to doing research.
Sorry. Right way.
Okay, you are suggesting me.
Yeah, you are.
No, I remember what I was.
I perfectly remember. So this is bottom-up approach. Normally we follow the bottom-up approach, something ready-made. And that is the same thing now. Sometimes I say, anyone who have not learned the cooking, who have not worked in the kitchen, he cannot be a organizer. He cannot understand what the food, what the taste is. Try to understand. The ready-made thing, they may fill your stomach, but so many things would be missing. Always follow top-down approach. Try to understand. Okay. These are actually, now if you look at the areas, one is the exploratory, causal, and descriptive. So what kind of research are you going to do? And with this, I'm going to wind up. One is the exploratory research. right? This is one type. So keep this thing in the mind. If you have undertaken a problem, you are trying to find out a solution, then what? Is it an exploratory kind of thing? So exploratory, this says, you try to explore some of the things. You try to explore some of the things. After the exploration, would you like to be just observationalist or would you like to intervene? Choice is yours. Discuss. Right? So, for example, qualitative methods, many times, they attempt to unearth the theory from the data. Maybe in sculpture or somewhere, you found certain materials from the earth and there is a concentration in certain area. You can always unearth the theory why this happened. So this is qualitative. But many times you have to use the quantitative methods in order to further explore if you want to quantify it. Right? Another is, this is descriptive research. I mean, if you are trying to do this, and in this, you actually, your attempt or your mind, these things, let us try to describe certain demography, certain population, what are the trends. So you provide the descriptive. For example, in the initial topic, you remember, whether NEP is going to help improvise the employment scenario, right? There can be multiple directions. One is the subjective answer. One is the quantitative. I mean, we will like to quantify. Someone will say, yes, it has improved. Employability or the employment ratio, this is improvising. But people, those who are into the data, they will like to say, okay, agreed, this is doing good, but how much? In the last year, for example, in the whole country, how many people compared to the last year were able to get more jobs? If it is so, say the number is 5% or 10% or 50%, whatever, then out of this, what is the distribution? So what has happened to the state like UP? These are the big states. What has happened to the state like Madhya Pradesh or Bihar or Punjab or Odisha? It's like this. So description is one thing, and then further quantification fairly depends. These are the exploratory, the descriptive research. You're trying to describe certain phenomena, right? And this is really interesting, and this is what is called the causal. What has caused? It's not the causal, I'm sorry, pronunciation clear. There is a lots of different causal and casual. I'm talking about the causal. Something has affected, something has happened because of something. This has triggered, and as a result, this has happened. There is a lots of coal burning. As a result, you get lots of carbon particle in the air. It's known fact. But is it sufficient? In the northern part of the country, what is the scenario? You need certain data. What is the scenario in the southern part of the country? Or in southern part of the country, specifically in certain areas, people would like to quantify it. So here, this is one thing has caused another. Here, you need or you have to be more interventionist, because you are identifying, you are reasoning about the things. And most of the scientific research and the technological research are based on exploration here, what has caused the other. So with this all, in the next session, I would like to discuss about the common buzzwords like data science or AI or data analytics, without giving you the mathematical detail. How, and this is why I will try to convince you, pursue you, that people in the other discipline, yes, they can use it without learning much mathematics or programming or computer science. Any question if you have, we can discuss it here. Or,
Participants, please go to the corridor for your tea. sir's next session.
If you have some question which requires immediate attention, please feel free to ask. Otherwise, after this session, I will be available. I would like to talk to you. Right?
Top-down approach to फिर से थोड़ा सा explain कर दीजिए.
Sorry?
Top-down approach को थोड़ा सा फिर से explain.
देखिए, हिंदी में अभी सर से बात हो रही थी, आप हिंदी के प्रोफेसर हैं, हिंदी में समझना है. टॉप डाउन एंड बॉटम अप अप्रोच. टॉप डाउन का होता है एक जो नेचुरल रिसर्चर है, नेचुरल रिसर्चर जिसको कहते हैं प्रकृति से जिज्ञासु. रिसर्च का मतलब अगर जिज्ञासा नहीं है तो रिसर्च कैसे करेंगे? तो प्राकृतिक रूप से जो जिज्ञासु है उनकी अप्रोच, उनका तरीका क्या होता है? उनको डिग्री नहीं लेनी है, पीएचडी, डीएससी, मास्टर्स ना लेना, जिज्ञासु है. और जितने पुराने विद्वान होते थे, जितने बड़े बड़े आपने मैथमेटिशियन इन सब के नाम सुने होंगे, ये प्राकृतिक रूप से जिज्ञासु थे. चाहे वो गैलीलियो हो, वो न्यूटन हो, फैराडे हो, जितने बड़े नाम हैं, वो जिज्ञासु लोग क्या करते हैं? आंखों से देखते हैं, हमारी इंद्रियां हैं, वो आंखों से देखा, सुना, समझा, फील किया, और उसके बाद जानने की कोशिश करते हैं ये क्या हो रहा है, और कुछ थ्योरी पर आते हैं. राइट? टॉप डाउन का मतलब ये हुआ कि प्राकृतिक रूप से आप नेचुरल तरीके से सोचिए कि ये मेरा इंटरेस्ट है, ये मेरा एरिया है, मैं इसमें काम करना चाहता हूँ, और इसमें ये समस्याएं हैं. फिर उसके बाद एक समस्या जो होती है या समस्या है, वो केवल एक समस्या नहीं है, वो अक्सर समस्याओं का अंबार होता है. हम लोग अक्सर रिसर्च में कहते हैं, डोंट ट्राई टू सॉल्व द होल प्रॉब्लम ऑफ द वर्ल्ड, यू जस्ट ट्राई टू फाइंड आउट ए सॉल्यूशन फॉर एन स्पेसिफिक प्रॉब्लम, जो प्रॉब्लम आपके हाथ में है. लेकिन जानकारी पूरी होनी चाहिए. तो टॉप डाउन में आपने ऊपर से सोचा, किसी का जो इंटरेस्ट है, जैसे कई उदाहरण हो सकते हैं. ड्रग डिस्कवरी, ड्रग डिस्कवरी आपने सुना होगा. जितना मेडिसिन है उनका, हम बार बार जो उदाहरण आ रहे हो मेडिकल साइंस के आ रहे हैं, तो ऐसा मत समझिए कि इट्स पॉसिबली बिकॉज आई एम वर्किंग इन क्लोज इंटरेक्शन विद द मेडिकल एक्सपर्ट, दैट इज द वन ऑफ द रीजन. बहुत सारे और भी हैं. वहां से आए ड्रग डिस्कवरी. अब डिस्कवरी में कैसे दवाइयां बनाई कैसे जाती हैं, ठीक, उनका टेस्टिंग ट्रायल कैसे होता है, तो पहले तो चीज़ है उसमें आइडिया हो. एक अभी हम दूसरा एक एग्जाम्पल ले लेते हैं. आई डोंट नो वेदर यू हर्ड द नेम ऑफ वेरी फेमस एक्ट्रेस, हॉलीवुड एक्ट्रेस. उनका नाम है एंजेला जोली. सबने देखा होगा, सुना होगा. कितने लोगों ने? अच्छा, किसी मूवी का नाम बता सकते हैं? अच्छा, सबने सॉल्ट जरूर देखे. एनीवे, लेकिन बहुत अच्छी जो मूवी है. एनीवे, डिड यू नो वन ऑफ द फैक्ट, शी गॉट मैक्टस में क्या शब्द होता है, द रिमूवल ऑफ द ब्रेस्ट. ये मालूम है क्यों किया था? बिकॉज दोनों पेरेंट्स उनके और उसके ऊपर पेरेंट्स, दे है, एक को ब्रेस्ट कार्सिनोमा था, मदर को, दैट वाज स्प्रेडेड, फादर को दूसरी तरह का. फिर उसके बाद उनके पेरेंट्स को, दे वर ऑल्सो डिटेक्टेड. Why she has taken this decision? She took a decision based on certain scientific tests, and this is what is called genetic testing. आज की डेट में it is a very common test. नहीं, इतना common भी नहीं. I'm sorry, there is one lab in the whole country. It's in Bangalore. जेनेटिक टेस्टिंग में क्या है? जीन्स, यू कैन एनालाइज द जीन। थ्योरीज पहले से एग्जिस्ट करती थी, आज टेक्नोलॉजी है। टेक्नोलॉजी मीन्स कंप्यूटेशनल पावर। ये जो डेटा जनरेट होता है जीन्स का जो अगर बायोलॉजी कोई है, आई थिंक दे कैन अंडरस्टैंड। तो जीन का जो होता है ना, डीएनए एंड आरएनए, इसका जो मोस्ट सटल पार्ट होता है, दीज आर कॉल्ड न्यूक्लियोटाइड्स। और न्यूक्लियोटाइड्स ये 4 तरीके के A, T, C, G, इनकी सीक्वेंस होती है, राइट। अब जीन का, आपने ह्यूमन जीन का वहाँ से एक्सट्रैक्ट किया, जीन का डेटा लिया, और डेटा के बाद में वो ATCG सीक्वेंस है, उसमें पता करते हैं कि म्यूटेशन कहाँ हो रहा है। म्यूटेशन आप समझते हैं, जैसे वायरस म्यूटेट करता है, अपना रूप बदलता है, बेसिक चीज़ें वही हैं, रूप बदल दिया। तो अगर कोई एक पैटर्न चला रहा है स्ट्रिंग में, लगातार चला रहा है, और किस जगह पर वो सीक्वेंस चेंज हुआ, उसकी स्टडी से अब आज की डेट में ये पता चल सकता है कि अगर जीन हमने लिया किसी एक लिविंग पर्सन का जिसकी उम्र है 30 साल, बहुत कुछ प्रोबेबिलिटी ये पता कर सकते हैं कि जब वो 60 की उम्र में होगा, 55 की उम्र में होगा, 40 की उम्र में होगा, उसके चांसेस ऑफ गेटिंग म्यूटेशन, कार्सिनोमा, कैंसर के, हम उनकी बात, वो उसके चांसेस क्या है। नाउ दिस टेस्टिंग हैज बिकम ए रियलिटी, इट इज हैपनिंग। 3 या 4 लाख रुपया मेरे ख्याल से कुछ ऐसी कॉस्ट है। हालांकि गवर्नमेंट शुड डू समथिंग इन ऑर्डर टू रिड्यूस द कॉस्ट, लेकिन अब ये है कि इतना ज़्यादा टेस्टिंग की फैसिलिटी मिलेगी। यू अंडरस्टैंड? सो व्हाट इज हैपनिंग, दोज पर्सन, दोज बायोटेक्नोलॉजिस्ट और कंप्यूटर साइंटिस्ट और बायोलॉजिस्ट जो उसमें काम कर रहे हैं, उनका फोकस क्या है? उनका फोकस ये है कि और प्रिसाइज कैसे पता करें कि अगर मान लीजिए म्यूटेशन हो रहा है, इसके और क्या क्या इम्प्लीकेशंस हो सकते हैं। ये कितना फास्ट, जैसे होता है सेइंग दैट डिसीज, इसका नाम लेने में डर लगता है, दिस डिजीज इज समथिंग लाइक दैट। ये कितनी फास्ट स्प्रेड होती है, किस किस तरीके से स्प्रेड हो रही है, कौन कौन से लिम्फ नोड से हो रही है, कौन से लिम्फ नोड बड़ा फास्ट चेस कर रहे हैं, किसको कट कर देने से चीज़ों का स्प्रेड रुक सकता है, सो नाउ पीपल आर ट्राइंग टू फाइंड आउट। जो टॉप डाउन अप्रोच बता रहे थे वो एक्चुअली है कि आप बड़े बड़े लेवल पे सोचिए, फिर इसके बाद धीरे 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 आप करते हुए तब ये बताएंगे कि एक पर्सन, इट इज स्ट्रांगली एडवाइस, किसी ने अपना टेस्टिंग सोमेटिक और जेनेटिक टेस्टिंग कराया, देन यू कैन टेल एंड सजेस्ट, oh, you already attained the age of 30, there is a good possibility in the next 20 years something may come up. अब उसको और प्रिसाइज कर सकते हैं, और प्रिसाइज कर सकते हैं। You got the point? टॉप डाउन का मतलब है टोटलिटी में। Imagine in the same laboratory, a young researcher is just brought in and he is given a task कि भाई ये जो स्ट्रिंग है, इस स्ट्रिंग में ये जरा ढूंढिए, ये 4 का ये रिपीटिशन हो रहा है, इतने टाइम पर हो रहा है, इसका रिपीटिशन कितने से हो रहा है। यू गॉट द पॉइंट? एक यंग PhD स्टूडेंट उस लेबोरेटरी में है, अब आपने उसको ये तो बता दिया कि ये प्रोग्राम लिखना है, एल्गोरिथम लिखनी है इस पर्पस के लिए, लेकिन उसको ओवरऑल पिक्चर आपने बताई नहीं। दैट इज द बॉटम अप अप्रोच। तो जो गोल डिसाइड कर रहे हैं वो टॉप लेवल से आप जब पूरी चीज़ों को समझिए और धीरे धीरे फ्रैगमेंट करिए, तब आप उसके बाद जो काम करेंगे वो ज़्यादा मीनिंगफुल होगा, ज़्यादा रिवॉर्डिंग होगा, बजाय इसके कि कोई एक स्पेसिफिक चीज़ लेके और फिर आप पूरी थ्योरी बिल्ड कर रहे हैं। आई थिंक दैट इज नॉट अ गुड आइडिया। वो आई एम एबल टू क्लैरिफाई। भाई आपने लार्जर लेवल पे सोचा और इंडिविजुअल बेनिफिट हुआ, एंड दैट इज द रीजन Angelina Jolie, she became the one of the advocate or person for the woman empowerment or liberation, because उसने बहुत बड़ा डिसीजन लिया। Go and search the Google and you will find out lots of praise for this कि किसी ने इतनी हिम्मत तो दिखाई, वरना reliance on the technology is very difficult. Okay. So I'm going slightly faster, but anyway. So now there are two methods. One is the qualitative and quantitative. in quantitative method, one thing is clear, you gather the data from the field, you can use the instrument, you can use the devices, or you can collect the data from various other sources. So that has to be amicably decided. And then based on this, you use certain mathematical or data analytical techniques in order to gain the insight to understand. And then, so lots of tools are that has emerged. MATLAB, are you aware of it? MATLAB. So it's across the discipline, whether you are solving a problem related with the agriculture or economic problem or political social problem or in medical science, whatever, use of the MATLAB, it has become mandatory. So many researchers working in other areas, they are using MATLAB. Similarly, most recent one is, I'm sure you have heard the name, the Python. कितने लोगों ने सुना है Python? That's great. So Python is one of the language. Similarly, the R is in a statistical language for statistical problem. So R with the Veka tools. So all of these languages that have come up. But the good thing with this language, Python or the R is, you need not learn the traditional programming like C. अक्सर यही confusion होता है. Those who are into the computer science, they probably can answer. You need not do rigorous programming because they allow you to use the ready-made routines, ready-made modules. You just plug in this language and you get the results. So that is the reason why this language has been developed, why they are finding the application in other areas, why the medical expert or anthropologist or maybe those who do the demographic studies, they are using this R, the Python, in order to analyze, in order to gain insight of the data. So this is quantitative. Quantitative means you need certain quantifiable result. You got it? So you need to have a knowledge about these tools. So yes, there is always you have to define the variables, what is the relation between the output variables or initial variables. So it's like this, right? Without entering into much detail. Similarly, the relationship and the reliability, that is also a factor. So if you are analyzing the data, you are trying to understand, you want to gain insight from the data, then you have to define the relationship, right, among the variables. So here, the need of the domain expert. Domain expert means expert of the area for which you are providing a solution. I always say the computer scientist or IT expert, they are not the front runners. They are always at the back. They come with bunch of the technologies, but they provide assistance to the other people. Just as sir, he is working in the languages, right? A language where maybe he may want to carry out some research, say in the literature during the maybe medieval period in this history. Lots of literature, वो उर्दू में भी लिखा गया, वो हिंदी में भी आया, वो मिक्स्ड भी आया, कुछ लिटरेचर संस्कृत में भी आया, medieval टाइम में, उसका interpretation. Now the person who is good with Hindi or can work with the Hindi, possibly, say Hindi and Urdu is the language. Is spoken, they are spoken in a similar manner. But when they are written, the script is altogether different. Now you need certain tool in order to auto-translate. So I can remember some of the famous poets of literature, those who used to write both in Hindi as well as in Urdu. Now if you want to do a comparative analysis, when an Urdu writer of Persian writer, whatever, when it was interpreted in Hindi, what was the impact? What was the grammatical things, how it has influenced? इस तरह की research हिंदी में literature में होती है. Now, for this, now we have outstanding tools, good things, and this area in the computer science we call it the text analytics. Text analytics. Lots of tools are there, standard tools, technology this is there. Now we have to provide these tools. Tools are artifact, औजार है. ये हिंदी के एक्सपर्ट को दीजिए, इनको बताइए कि ये आप यूज करके आप अपनी प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व कर सकते हैं. That is the reason I say computer science, IT expert, they are at the back. They are not the front runners. So, going quickly further, I would give you some, I have 10-15 minutes now. AI and machine learning, अब घबराइए नहीं बिल्कुल भी, सिंपल शब्दों में बताएंगे. AI and machine learning, it has become a buzzword. Why machine learning? Why AI? कोई बता सकता है? What is an AI?
Can machine things? No.
आजकल एक चीज बड़ा कॉमन हो गई है. कहीं जाइए किसी डिपार्टमेंट में, किसी गवर्नमेंट डिपार्टमेंट में, यूजुअली पार्टिसिपेट करते हैं. The bureaucrats and all, whenever they see my face, they ask one question. डॉक्टर साहब ये बताइए, इसमें AI है? Without really understanding, HIS बनाना है उनको, कोई ऑटोमेशन करना है, कोई डिवाइस खरीदना है, या कुछ करना है, या कोई टास्क एस्टैब्लिश करना है. नटशेल में ये बताइए, इसमें AI है या नहीं है? Does it contain AI or not? तो हम अक्सर ये पूछते हैं कि भाई आपको AI से मतलब है, अपना काम कराने से मतलब है कि नहीं, AI इज अ फैशन हो गया ना. मोबाइल खरीदने गए, इसमें बताइए AI है. आजकल तो एडवर्टीजमेंट भी आ रहा है. Go and buy this television. This has AI inside it. एप्पल ने अभी iPhone 16 लॉन्च किया. क्या उसकी लाइन थी? यही थी ना, इसे AI. गूगल का पिक्सल आया, AI inside it. लेकिन कभी आप पलट के भी तो पूछिए कि इसमें कौन सी AI है भाई, बताओ तो सही. Anyway, AI एक तरफ तो फैंसी शब्द की तरह से इस्तेमाल हो रहा है, लेकिन उसका जो लिटिल मीडियम है हम सही बता रहे हैं. AI means there is some kind of intelligence is there. It can behave like a human. And the good example is iPhone, Apple. अब कह रहा है कि इसके अंदर AI है, क्योंकि वो मार्केट की तरफ भाग रहा है. उसको हम जैसे लोग पकड़ रहे हैं जो तो फैंसी देखते हैं, AI है या नहीं है. Actually, it was already there. इससे पहले कई प्रोडक्ट आए. Hi Siri. कितने लोगों ने यूज किया होगा? Alexa. इसकी पावर अब बढ़ते जा रही है. Now, what initially they used to respond and the power was limited. Now, with the newer technologies in the AI, what is happening? Now it has started learning. AI means आपके पास Siri है या Alexa है. Alexa के आजकल डिवाइस कंट्रोल भी कर सकते हैं. Hi Alexa, turn off these lights. Hi Alexa, turn off television. Turn on the light. You can provide an instruction. Hi Alexa, play some songs. Now they have started talking. And when the new person comes in, then ये तो हमारी बात सुन ही रहा है या नहीं सुन रही है, क्योंकि वो आवाज़ नहीं बचाता है. Now what is happening? It has started learning what are the instructions that the master gives or the owner gives, and how it has to be interpreted. So it is a learning system. So important thing is only having the human kind of thing. What is the human they do? They think, they take decision, at the same time they learn. And if they don't learn, then possibly they won't be able to take decision. And this comes from learning. And therefore we have done machine learning. So machine learning is, there is a machine and we try to have those capabilities. और वो capabilities क्या है? वो कुछ algorithms हैं, वो अंदर है उसके. And that machine learns. जैसे प्लेन है, आप लोग हवाई जहाज में सुना होगा ऑटो पायलट. What the pilot does? Pilot look at plane का आपने देखा होगा, it takes off, goes up, attains certain height, and then third part is it lands. Many things. Pilot looks at lot many parameters. जैसे मोटा मोटी कौन से पैरामीटर्स है, उसकी हाइट, एलिवेशन, शुरुआत में 0 फिर धीरे धीरे बढ़ेगा. इंजन की कितनी पावर मिल रही है, टोटल वेट कितना है, पैसेंजर, मटेरियल और कितना वेट है, वेलोसिटी कितनी है, कितनी वेलोसिटी पे चलेगा वो सस्टेन करेगा. देन एरोडायनामिक. सो whole data it gets, and based on this, pilot decides. Now, if you feed this all thing to some machine, well, if the height is this and the turbulence comes, then the second engine should be turned on, or the power should be some this megawatt or whatever. इतना पावर होनी चाहिए. अगर आपने उसको एक बार सिखा दिया, तो क्या होगा? You don't need a pilot. And this has become a reality. और ये आज reality नहीं है. Autopilot in the aeroplane, I think this is his last 20 years. It's more than 20 years. And many times you heard the stories when the international, especially in the international flight, which are long haul, maybe 16 घंटे, 18 घंटे is nowadays common. 16 hours flight. 2 घंटे उसके बाद ऑटो पायलट में किया और फिर lots of story, fun story comes. Pilot started sleeping. सुना होगा. What is this? This is a good example. It means the machine or the cockpit or the instrument, whatever is there, it has learned so many things. And it has become capable enough to take minor decisions. Why this happened? This is because it has been learning. So it's a machine learning machine. So AI is a branch of computer science which can create intelligent machine. Intelligent machine means there is a machine, it can take decisions. Another good example is in the year 96, I don't know, many of you might have not born by that time. बहुत बड़ा एक आया था न्यूज़, गैरी कास्पारोव, the world chess champion. कुछ याद आ रहा है आप लोगों को? किसी को ओल्ड हो सकता है. सॉरी, यस. और इसके बाद जो फर्स्ट सेकंड लाइन केम व्हेन ही लॉस्ट. दैट मीन्स टॉप पर्सन कास्पारोव वो हरा गया. जब उसको कंप्यूटर ने हराया तब मामला समझ में आ गया कि मशीन हैज बिकम्स, जो वर्ल्ड चैंपियन है, लगातार वर्ल्ड चैंपियन, उसको अगर चेस में हरा दिया तो इसका मतलब व्हाट इज हैपनिंग? कंपटीशन. बिकॉज ऑफ कंपटीशन पावर, बिकॉज ऑफ द एल्गोरिथम, इट हैज बिकम सो इंटेलिजेंट, इवन इट कैन डिफीट ए वर्ल्ड चैंपियन. एंड एज ऑफ रिजल्ट नाउ इट इज जस्ट नॉट पॉसिबल. यू कैनॉट हैव a human who can even compete with any machine as far as the chess is concerned. So not many things in the gaming. So gaming and the media, these are all areas wherein lots of application learning this is going on. So machine learning is one thing. This is a subset of AI wherein you have certain capabilities. Data science, data analytics. So analytics is examining the raw data. So lots of analytics. For example, huge amount of data is being generated from the social media. If you want to analyze the behavior, it's possible. What people are talking about, what is the talking decision, and based on this, even the government or the policy decision makers, they can take the decisions, certain decisions. It should be done like this. And very recently you heard, the government is trying to bring in some regulation to curb the फेक न्यूज़ legislation वो अभी dispute में है. Now this is the question of debate. It means they already have some data on how the fake news and the things are being generated. Now in order to check fake news, now you have, so this is a cat-mouse race, so it depends. Generative AI is the recent trend. How many of you heard about the ChatGPT? She is, क्या करती है आप? Are you reading? You are a research scholar. किस एरिया में? ChatGPT यूज किया आपने? Any one of you? कोई एग्जाम्पल सर कहाँ आपको मदद किया है ChatGPT ने?
Sir, it helped me to identify a specific framework of the specific topics. So I took this help from ChatGPT.
So now we are into the 4th generation of ChatGPT. Google has also, so Google Bard, this is also a product. ये आइडिया आया कहाँ से था? The company name of the organization of the company, it was OpenAI. And whose idea was this one? Your famous Elon Musk. So he's into the all. So nutshell is the ChatGPT is actually a bot, AI bot. You can ask anything. You can ask anything. But anything means what? जैसे आपने बताया, you can even बताइए और वो पूरा फ्रेमवर्क बना के दे देगा, including coding and everything, पूरा solution बना के देगा. It's become so powerful. And the 4th generation, people are worried. That is a Altman, you know, is a famous AI godfather or whatever. People are worried if you have a very small product which you can carry with, and they become so powerful, then what will happen? No one knows. So now they have the learning capabilities, learning as fast as no one can imagine. It's learning so fast. So there is an end. So never know what will happen. So this is one thing. But anyway, this is happening. So in this case, what is the reason? This area is called generative AI, and this is based on the concept of neural networks. So convolutional neural network. I'm not going into detail. I will not discuss. Right? So these are the technologies, artificial neural network and the other network. Let it be the thing, remain with the IT or computer scientist people, but using the language Python or R, or, yes, you can use these theories for your benefit. And that is actually the reality of it today. No medical science person or person working into the biology or biotechnology, they have nothing to do. ज़्यादातर लोग नहीं जानते कि neural network, artificial neural network, उसकी क्या theory है, क्या theory है. They are using the standard routines and they get the solutions. Right? This is another famous case study I would certainly like to discuss. So, for COVID, I'm sure दो चीज़ आप लोगों ने ज़रूर सुनी होगी. क्या हो रहा है? Because majority of us, they never seen the pandemic because we are not into the generation that हुआ करते थे. So R factor, isolation, right? The rate of spread, many things that you heard for the first time. इसको क्वारंटाइन करना है, इसको आइसोलेशन करना है, इतने को वैक्सीनेशन करना है, ये रेट ऑफ स्पीड है, इस समय टोटल रेशियो इतना हो रहा है, इन्फेक्शन रेट इस तरह से बढ़ रहा है. एक वॉडोमीटर साइट थी, वॉडोमीटर. Have you ever heard about it? So how much infection? How many people are infected? People are submitting the data, and in real time, the graph is increasing. I'll show you some of the graphs. So here you see some of the risk factor, existing risk factor, and along with this, whether there should be mask mandate or not. You might have heard the government has taken a decision many times. There was a rule. Well, there should be assembly of no more than 50%, assembly with no more than 100%. This market should be open. It should be even and odd. Shop should be open even and odd. Or there should be a complete lockdown. No one will come out outside. You got the point? Why? These are various steps to curb the spread of infection. अब उसकी इंटेंसिटी कितनी होनी चाहिए? इसके लिए आपको क्या चाहिए? You need data, certain data. कितने लोग मिल रहे हैं? अगर मैरिज हो रही है या कोई अगर इक्वेशंस है, how many people are interacting? So based on the R. Similarly, what is the rate of infection, the severity of the infection? So X-rays है, उसमें कितना infection है, कितना दिख रहा है? It's like that. So based on this, if you have a data, then this John Hopkins Coronavirus Research Center, they were the major data aggregating agency, and it used to provide the data to the various states, the governors, and the policymakers. And to the extent, if you go to this website, lots of data is there, wherein you can process the data. After processing the data, it was able to find out in the next 7 days, they will go to certain city, and in this neighboring city, this much of ICU or the ventilator or doctor or nursing staff would be required. And if you get, or any policymaker or the government get this time, 1 week or 15 days time, then they can prepare, they can go for the resources. Similarly, in order to curb the spread of the virus, what measures of the lockdown, it should be there. Should it be a complete lockdown or should it be a controlled movement? आधा मार्केट बंद कर दीजिए, सिनेमा हॉल बंद कर दीजिए, शॉपिंग हॉल बंद कर दीजिए, इतना फिर what is the effect of then the vaccine came, then what is the rate of production of vaccine, then which area the vaccine should be sent, what are the India में, you remember, first of all the vaccine come, it was said only those who have attained the age of 60, ऐसे ही था ना, उन्हीं को वैक्सीन लगेगा. It was not just कि वो old age है, वो इसलिए वैक्सीन सप्लाई it was limited and you had to identify the target group. और एक्चुअली उसमें सबसे पहले ये था जो कोमॉर्बिड जिनकी पोजीशन पहले उनको पहले लगाई यार, जो मेडिकल, those who are under medical treatment. So this data helps to form the guideline. Who are doing? These are the global person or global decision makers, and who would follow us like this. Data is important. So from where this data practically आ रहा है, and then they used various technologies and technique, and finally they came up with the guidelines. Now this is a learning lesson. Now people are still studying this data in order to find out if in future some pandemic comes, then what should be the measures. And if you just forget this data, we don't analyze, then possibly we are not preparing ourselves to fight another spread of pandemic or whatever. So that is important. So this is the data gathered, says possible, says in certain state, at 6 o'clock in the morning, how many infected people, how many got vaccinated. So data coming at 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock, so it's a real-time data. And now this is giving the complete, if you go to this website, you can find out. So 16-hour average, 12-hour average, 1 week average, 24 hours average, you can always, so whole lot of displays there, and that allows the decision maker. So what is the current state? Because at the time, you remember, situation was changing almost every day. आज infection 4, अगले दिन 40, next day 4,000. It's like this. So these are the dashboards. So some of the tools which are required, कुछ लोग यहाँ कर भी रहे हैं काम. So you should be able to interpret the data and should be able to present before the decision maker so that they can look at the data pattern and immediately can take decision. So it should be presented in such a manner. So lots of tool in this area is also like this. And for this use of this tool, you need not be an IT expert. Anyone working in any area, yes, you can use it. Right? Another example which I would like to use, and this is the last example, is a famous scandal. Facebook. How many of you have ever heard about it? Oh, काफी लोगों ने सुना है. What has happened? थोड़ा सा ही बता रहे हैं और कोई इसमें ऐड करेंगे. एक्चुअली हम आपको बता देते हैं. द सीनेट, यूएस सीनेट, इट आस्क्ड 10 चीफ ऑफ द फेसबुक, बड़ा फेमस नाम है, मार्क जुकरबर्ग. ही हैड टू apologize with folded hands to the Senate, otherwise Facebook खत्म हो गया था. And at that time he was, I think, the richest person, maybe the richest company. I mean, this is among the top 5 richest company, biggest company. He was sued, this company was sued in the Europe and were charged billions of dollars. What happened? It's not just prediction नहीं किया था. It was not even data breach. Ethics. Without permission. So this is one issue. It was there, but it was an issue. Yes, I agree. इन्होंने कहा predicting. Actually, he was charged for manipulations. Okay. What has happened? जो टेक्स्ट में सर जो हिंदी में या इंग्लिश में काम कर रहे हैं, it's a very interesting and challenging area to go through this case study. In the year 2015, during this presidential election, they have used the analytic company, Cambridge Analytica. Facebook data breach, वो जो है चोरी डाटा हुआ, वो है, that is also an issue. Now what they have done, they provided the data of one of the state, it was the Florida of the state, उसका पूरा data of the fake citizens, it was provided to a company in London. This is Cambridge Analytica, is the name of the company. Then what they have done the profiling of the persons, because every Facebook is one thing, every person will have his own page. They post some text or video, सारी चीजें हैं. Text भी होगा, video भी होगा, images भी होंगे, and then lot many people they comment on the post. Many like, many dislike, and you know the emojis. Younger generation they know much better than they how to use the emojis. Now this is sentiment. They did the profiling, and on the basis of profiling, they were able to know that this person is of this mindset. And not only this, if he is provided with this kind of information, then we can alter the views. You understand? Using the profile, it is possible to find out this person, because data बहुत सारा है, millions of users. The data consisting of millions of users, and based on this, they did the profiling and can. और उसके बाद एक estimate किया, this person is of this view, this mindset. If he is provided certain kind of information or data, then possibly we can alter the views. So So he was sued not because of just data breach or it was influencing the person. So use of social media in order to influence the person, that is nothing. This is the great case study. And there is a Netflix, there is a series, movie, A Great Hack. Go and watch.
Social dilemma.
Social network.
Social dilemma.
No, it was not a Great Hack is on the Facebook. Category for Facebook. What has happened? And lot many things. Similarly, the Brexit, you remember? Brexit is when the UK exited from the Euro. And there was a referendum in the UK and people were asked, would you like to remain with the Euro or you would like to go out of the Euro? Then this same company, it was again charged for influencing the people. So people with the dubious mindset, it changed their, should I vote for Brexit or not for Brexit, like this. So it's a case study, famous case study. So what is all going on? Now we have come to the higher and higher stage. Now this requires research. Saying that, आज हमने कह दिया, आपने मान लिया, it should not be true. Now this requires, look at the data, look at what are the tools and technology which are available, and all of them, those who are into this area, they are not IT expert, right? Politician, I'm sure, they are not IT expert, but they are using IT. So sometimes it has to be, majority of the time, it should be used for the benefit of the society, but misuse of the technology cannot be ruled out. So it's a, अभी हमने जो कहा था, it's a cat and mouse race. कभी वो आगे, कभी वो आगे. So awareness is required. Person like how to use these technologies in order to solve your problem, to understand your problem. And finally, I will wind it up. This is all about machine learning. I'm just leaving. This is a typical example for all research. I'm sure many of you might have seen, and I have tendency of showing this. एक सुना है आपने कहावत है, हम चाहते तो ये थे और ये क्या हो गया? सुना है? करना तो हम ये चाहते थे, ये कुछ और हो गया. It's exactly the same thing. This is user, person, citizen, organization. They wanted to have a swing like this. Then someone else came in, he analyzed, say he needs a swing like this. ये झूला है. Then some person came and designed the system like this. Now what is happening? The requirements, things are changing. यहीं से होती है top down approach अगर आपकी होगी, you will never fail. You will never be mistaken. Because overall the picture is quite clear what you are doing and how it is going to benefit the society. Right? Similarly, when it was programmer or some coding was done, so this is use of tool and technology, it becomes like this. And this is the result. So यही है, क्या हमने सोचा था, क्या करने चले थे और ये क्या हो गया. And that is the maximum time, most of the time the PhD scholars, they are into the midway or at the end of the day, and even after getting the PhD, they are not sure what I have done, हुआ क्या. Because they were never able to connect with the real world and what was the reality, what was the real thing or real problem, they found it in between. So with this word, I think, Madam, hai aap. So with your permission, I'm going to wind it up. So if you have any question, no, well, not question. I came here actually to discuss with you. लेकिन ये लगता है monologue हो गया. थोड़ा time कम पड़ गया. But still you have something, anything which comes to your mind, please do ask.
Using ChatGPT is ethical or not? जैसे उन्होंने बोला कि उन्होंने framework develop करने के लिए ChatGPT को use किया. I mean, ChatGPT is not creative, it is generative. It uses different sources and then generate a new set of information.
can only tell you what is the impact. Last week, no, not last week, in the month of May or June, I was sitting with the NVIDIA. Have you heard NVIDIA? Why this NVIDIA is so?
GPU manufacturer.
GPU. So, is it the only manufacturer of GPU?
Leading manufacturer. Leading.
So GPU is graphic processing unit. Earlier you used to see Intel inside, Intel. GPU is some newer thing which have the multi-processing, 5-core technology. I was in a meeting with the NVIDIA and the Meta people all together, and it was told to me that there will not be any vacancy of the testers in the next 2 or 3 years, just 2 or 3 years. Testers are those who test. And this is a scientific discipline. Those who are in computer science, they possibly understand. But generally, whenever there is a product, there is always a mechanism. So, koi bhi industry hai, koi bhi organization, when they roll out, they come out with the product, they actually test, quality, control, certify. So, it was said in the next 2 years, there will not be any requirement for the testers, or that is drastically going down. Why? Because testing has become automated. I'm coming to your ethics question. I mean, it is all up to you. You have to decide. It's not as simple as that. Jhoot bolna paap hai ya sahi hai. It's a very difficult question to answer. Jhoot bolna paap hai. Everyone will agree. लेकिन थोड़ा सा बोलते हैं, सच बोलना चाहिए. अगर आप वाकई सच बोल रहे हैं तो कहीं जो ग्रे लाइन होती है ना, जो ग्रे शेड्स, वही समझने की जरूरत है. दैट इज वेयर द एथिक्स इज. अब अगर इनकी जॉब खत्म हो जाएगी तो क्या होगा? टेस्टर्स की जॉब, बिकॉज टेस्टिंग इज नाउ ऑटोमेटेड. आपको इनिशियली एक हमने पहली स्लाइड में सवाल दिया था. नाउ द people, the computer scientists saying that there will not be any need for the radiologist, because if everything is automated, he is reading the similar kind of X-rays or CT or MRI scan or PET scan, सब वही कर रहा है. Then why not should it be handed over to the machine? It will do all the time with great precision. Human की error, जो human error है, वो तो नहीं होगी. अगर हवाई जहाज उड़ सकता है तो कोशिश अब जल्दी हो गई ना, ऑटो पायलट और सब बिना पायलट का सब. अब चीजें बदल रही. तो इथिक्स तो समथिंग, चैट जीपीटी इज समथिंग, इसमें जो लर्निंग की पावर आ रही है उसकी क्या एक्सट्रीम होगी, उसकी क्या डायमेंशन होगी, नोबडी नोस. इवन आई डोंट नो, किसी को आइडिया नहीं. इसीलिए जो एथिक्स वाले क्वेश्चन है, इट विल बी डिसाइडेड इन द ड्यू कोर्स ऑफ द टाइम. लेकिन इतना तो है कि टीचर्स ने आजकल मना कर दिया है सब जगह पर. असाइनमेंट आप इससे नहीं देंगे, तो बच्चे खूब असाइनमेंट बना रहे हैं. इवन द ग्रेजुएट स्टूडेंट, दे आर यूजिंग चैट जीपीटी. दोज हु हैव किड्स बैक देयर होम, जो सीएमएस, उनसे भी लर्न करिए. किड्स इन द सीएमएस आई नो 4th, 5th, 6th क्लास के करने लगे इस्तेमाल. तो प्लीज कीप आई एंड सी if the assignment or the work they are submitting is not generated by the chat GPT. So learning power है. The fourth version है उसमें learning की क्या capability nobody knows. तो जो चीज डेवलप हो रही होती है तो ethics के क्वेश्चन तो बाद में आएंगे.
A very good afternoon to one and all present in the auditorium. On behalf of all the participants and the organizers, I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to Professor Divakar Singh Yadav sir, a distinguished professor in the Department of Computer Science and Engineering at the Institute of Engineering and Technology, Lucknow, for his enlightening session on qualitative and quantitative analysis. Professor Yadav Your extensive experience of 31 years in academia was evident in the depth of knowledge and practical insights you share with us today. Your detailed explanation of different research methods and the hands-on approach to data analysis have provided us with valuable tools that will greatly enhance our research capabilities. The practical examples you provided were particularly helpful in understanding how to apply both qualitative and quantitative techniques effectively in our work. Thank you once again, Professor Yadav, for taking the time to share your expertise with us and for delivering a session that was both informative and engaging. We truly appreciate your efforts in helping us advance our knowledge in this important area of research. Thank you very much for all the patients, participants, and I hope you have gathered a lot and you are taking home with you a lot of information by the 2 sessions we had back to back today. So looking forward for the session tomorrow as well. But at the moment, you all are requested to please proceed to Lab 1 for your hand-on and lab work. And prior to that, if you could all please come here, we will like to have a group photograph with Sir. All of you can just come ahead.